Welcome to my Barlates Body Blitz dynamic stretch segment. For today's workout, all you will need is a yoga mat if you're working out on hard floor, or if you're on carpet, then nothing at all. I'm wearing my non-slip yoga grip socks today, so hopefully they'll give me some extra support and stop me from slipping around. Okay, starting in a really nice tall upright position, just going to take a couple of breaths in and out. So filling our lungs, breathing in and out. One more up and down. Now coming up, swan diving forward and coming back up. Swan diving. Just keep a nice light bend in your knees. Down and up. One more like this. Down and up. Now bring your arms out to the side, nice and dynamic, and just start rotating through the hip. Stepping side to side. Slow rotation, opening up through those hips. Bringing your knee up as high as you feel comfortable. Still keeping a really nice tall upright posture through the upper body. Holding your tummy in to protect your core. Around and around. 3, 2, 1. Now go around, down, 2, 3, around to the other side, down, 2, 3. So rotate down, 2, 3, rotate down, 2, 3. This is a bit of a balance challenge as well. 2, 3, hold for a second, up and around. 2, 3. So warming up those joints with a bit of dynamic movement. Sticking our glutes out to the back wall here. 2, 3, just 2 more like this. Down, 2, 3, and last one. Down, 2, 3. Now I want you to hold over to this side and just looking up, coming center, twisting away, center, back, center, away. So you're keeping your body hinged over, holding your tummy in strong, and you're down low in that side lunge. So you're really feeling the stretch through that inner thigh on the straight leg. And up. Now hold it to this side and just come down as low as you can. Maybe walk that other toe out a little bit more. Looking up at your outstretched arm. Really sinking down deep into that hip. Stretching out through that inner thigh. Coming center. Coming down the other side, if you can bring your palm all the way down, looking up at the outstretched arm, sinking in to this bent leg, stretching out through that arm. If you can't come all the way down, you can either use a yoga block or you can come up here. Just come down to as far as you feel comfortable. Now coming up, switching to the other side. First of all, rotating away, looking up. Really sinking down low. If you need to widen your stance to make sure that knee is not jutting out over the toe, please do so. Really pressing into that inner thigh. Coming up and twisting away. Twisting through the core, holding everything in tight. Sinking down low into that hip. Then coming back up. We're just going to go side to side, a bit deeper now. So if you can, tap the floor. If you can't, then just stay up a little bit higher. Side to side, side to side. All the way, all the way. We're going to go 2 side and then 2 center hamstring. Just give me 4 more, and 3, and 2, and 1. Now go side, side, down, up, down. Side, side, center, up, down. side, side, center, up, down. So you're really stretching out in the hamstrings in the center there. You're bending, straightening, bending. Side, side, bend, straighten, bend. Now reach behind that foot and right behind as you are bending. Side, side, center, behind. The more you can hinge over at the waist without rounding your back, the more you will feel this stretch. Side, hinge, back, up. Side, side, hinge, back, up. All the way over, reaching far behind those heels. Center, up, just 2 more like this. Down, up, down, and side, side, down, up, down. Now stay low and shift side to side. If you want to, you can widen your stance and put your hands on your thighs to push them outwards. So you're stretching through the inner thigh and you're just shifting side to side, side to side, all the way across, staying low. So this is still engaging your glutes, your hamstrings, your top of your thighs, your quads. So you're still getting a bit of a workout here, even though this is a dynamic stretch. Side to side, all the way. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now come in the center, come down as low as you can. If you can, come down so low that you place your arms on your legs and push out. So you're in this position where you're using your arms to stretch even further. If you can't do this, just stay up here and push out with your hands. Just come down as low as you can. We're really opening up the hips now. They're nice and warm from all those movements we just did. Make sure your stance is wide enough so that your toe is never jutting out. So your knee is never jutting out over your toe. Keep it in alignment with your heel. Your feet are turned out here and you're just sinking into it. As you get warmer, you will be able to stretch further and further. So just holding this, really stretching out through the inner thighs, through the hips, holding that core strong. That isometric contraction in the glutes and the quads and hamstrings is still working those muscle groups. Okay, now start to come out of it. And what we're going to do is twist our feet, straighten hamstring, down, out, push out. Okay, so it's in, up, down, rotate, out. In, straighten, down, rotate. In, up, rotate your feet, and as you are rotating your feet out, you push out on those knees. Stay hinged over. Keep your back flat. Make sure you're not rounding your back. Down and out. In, straighten, down, out. In, straighten, down, out. You might start finding that your stance is getting wider and wider and you have to bring your heels in a bit, otherwise you end up in the splits. And out. In, straighten, down, and out. Now slower. In, straighten, hands on the ground if you can. Folding over. I'm just going to change position so you can see from the side. So your feet are to the front here. Your legs are really straight. You're folding over, allowing the weight of your body to drop. If you can't touch the floor, don't worry. Now down, twist out. Out with your feet as far as you can go. Holding that. My back is still flat even though I'm hinged forward. Don't round like this. Really think about engaging your abs to help you keep your back flat. Forward and straighten. Out and pressing out with your hands. Forward and straighten. Pressing out with those hands. 2 more sets like this. Forward and straighten. Out and press. Forward and straighten. out and press. Okay, now walk your feet in. I'm just going to turn. If you can, keep your hands on the ground for this section. Great. If you can't, get something to hold on to, a chair, a yoga block, whatever you can. Okay, our hamstring should be nice and warm here. So your feet are parallel. Your fingertips are on the floor if you can. Start walking out your feet. Flat back here. Don't curve your back to try and get your hands to the floor. If you can't reach, just use something higher, okay? There's no shame in that. Everyone's flexibility is different. So please just go to your comfort level. I'd rather you be able to stretch out your leg fully than have to try and be down here and curve your back and bend your knees. Okay, so find your level. And walk. And walk. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both up and down. Up and down. Both up. You're going high onto your toes. You're going to feel this in your calves. And up. You're stretching through the feet, stretching through the hamstrings, holding your core in. Up. And up. All the way up. Really pushing into the ball of your foot, making sure that your weight is evenly distributed throughout those 10 toes. Looking down at your mat, keeping your neck in nice alignment with your spine for 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Now rock back on your heels, come up on your toes. Rock back on your heels, up on your toes. You can move your hands around. You can see my fingertips are on the floor. No weight is going into my hands, hardly any. It's literally just for balance. You're rocking back on your heels, up on your tippy toes, as high as you can go on your tippy toes. Get your heels up. I know your calves are burning, but you're stretching and strengthening at the same time. So you're going to get long, elongated muscles doing this. So keep going. And up on your heels, up on your toes, up on your heels. Just 4, and back, and 3, and back, and 2, and back. Last 1, and back. Now we're going to attempt a standing split. Sorry, a bend over split. So, hands in front. Try to keep them close if you can, but obviously flexibility permitting. Fingertips if you can't put your whole hand. Bend your leg, then extend it up. Turn out your hip. It's okay for your hip not to be parallel. It's actually more comfortable to have that hip turned out. Try to walk your hands as close to that supporting leg as you can. That other leg is pointed. It's straight. It's locked out behind your knee. Your shoulders are turned towards the mat. Don't let your shoulders rotate out, only your hips are rotating out. Up as high as you can. If you're down here, it's fine, as long as you can feel the stretch. You should feel the hamstring stretch on the supporting leg. Walk yourself up to your fingertips if you can, as close as to that foot as you can. If you want to try, you can hold on to that leg. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. There you go, only for a few seconds. Try your balance. Oh, honestly, this is too difficult for me, but if you can do it, good on you. Now bring that leg down and bring it through and walk that other leg back. So now you're in a runner's lunge, okay? You're stretching through the hip flexor of the leg that was just supporting you. Try and sink down low. Really low stretching through the back thigh. Bring your knee down, flatten your foot, walk your other leg a little bit further, a really wide angle stretch for the back leg. So it's the back leg that is feeling all the stretch through that hip. Keep your hips parallel. And we're going to come back up. So curl your toes under, come back up, adjust yourself. And we're going to start rocking back on our heel and then coming to the front again, okay? So it's back, 2, 3, 4, front, 2, 3, 4. All the way back, all the way front. Back and front. On the back, try and get your heel as close to the mat as you can. Stretch out through that back leg. You're stretching your hamstring at the front and your back leg as you go down with your heel. Really wide angle, looking straight ahead, tummy's pulled in. Back and front. Just 3 and front and 2 and stretch and 1 and stretch. Now we're going to bring that leg behind in a plank and bring the other leg forward. Walk your toe forward, really wide angle, and pressing down into that hip, runner's lunge. Really pressing down through this hip as if you're trying to get as close to the ground as possible. You're stretching out through the front of the thigh, elongating that. Keep your hips parallel, don't turn out, and you're pressing your weight into the front heel. Now bring your knee down, your foot flat, and really push forward. Really widening that angle. Now curl your toes back under, coming back up. Holding that for a few seconds, and then we're going to start shifting back and forth. So we're going to shift back, 2, 3, 4, front, 2, 3, 4. Make sure your angle is wide enough so that your knee is above your ankle on the front leg. Trying to get that heel at the back as close to the mat as possible, whilst you're locking out that front leg, stretching the hamstring. Back and forward. Back and forward. Making the most out of every single repetition. Let's go for 4 more sets like this. Sinking down. 3. Sinking down. 2. And down. Last 1. And down. Now, flatten your hands, bring your leg behind into a plank. Walk your feet in towards your hands, parallel. We're going to do that fold over split with the other leg, okay? So make sure you're nice and comfortable. Bend your leg, then shoot it up, turning out through that hip. But make sure you're turning both shoulders down to the mat, and you're just bringing that leg up as high as you can, locking out behind the knee, pointing through the toe. That other supporting leg is straight as an arrow. You're using every muscle in that leg to hold you up. Try and get that leg up a couple of inches higher. Walk your hands in towards your supporting leg, folding your body in half, keeping your tummy pulled in. Just letting the weight of your body fall forward and bringing that leg up as high as you can. Feeling that stretch through the back of the supporting leg and through the hip. Really allowing your weight to just fall into that. If you want to try holding onto your leg, I don't know if I can do it on this side. I could only do it for a few seconds on the other side. Oh, no, I don't think I will be able to. One hand is good though, isn't it? Try one hand. Okay, just a few more seconds. Get that leg slightly higher. And then bringing it back in. And doing those heel pumps again. Just pumping through the heel. You should feel a lot looser through the hamstring now. And pump, and pump. Go for 5, and 4, and 3, and 2 and 1, and just a few of those doubles, and up and up. My hamstrings feel a lot better doing this now, definitely, and even my calves don't feel as tight. For 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Awesome job. Walking yourself back out to that plank position. We're just going to arch through the back. Oh, that feels great. Then come up into downward dog and stretch back, pushing your shoulders, your armpits down to the mat. And then coming back forward again and up. You can put your thighs onto the mat this time and flatten your feet and really push up, push back, releasing through that back, looking up at the ceiling, and then curling your toes under, back into down dog, straightening out through those legs, pushing your armpits into the mat. Now coming back into plank and bringing one leg to the front, then rotating the foot to the ground. So you're in that warrior position and allowing yourself to come up and just feel that position. Okay, you're really wide in your stance so that your knee is over that heel, and you're making sure that your heel is lined up with your arch. So in a nice straight line. You should be feeling that inner thigh. So bring your arms out into warrior 2, and we're just going to rotate down and come up, twist, rotate the other way, come up center, down, come up, twist, rotate away, come up, twist. So down, up, twist, away, up, twist. So you're in a right angle here. Your front leg is still bent, and it is holding the weight of your entire body, and you're balancing because you're in this staggered position. So there's a lot going on here. Now go down and hold it here. So you know your limits. If you can't touch the floor, come up to your shin, or even keep your hand up on your thigh, or your arm on your thigh. If you can come down, really push your bottom shoulder out and your up top shoulder towards the back. Okay, you can look up at that hand if you like. Keep that front leg low, stretching out through your inner thigh. Now, if you can, straighten the front leg into triangle. Okay? Only if you're comfortable with that. And just hold it. Hold it. Hold your tummy in. Back flat. Coming back down into right angle. Raising yourself up. Twisting. Then come down with that other hand. And look at the upstretched hand. Twisting through that back. This is a bit more awkward, so if you can't do this one with your hand on the floor, please find a yoga block or something to lean on. Now, if you can, straighten your leg. Make sure your hand is right next to that foot. Reverse triangle. Now bend that leg, come back up, come all the way down with your hands, foot to the back, perfect plank, other leg forward in between. Feel that runner's lunge. Now turn your heel to the mat. Adjust your stance, come up, and I'm just going to be facing the back for a second. Arms out to the side, Really bend into that front leg. Your stance has to be wide. Your knee has to be over your heel. Very important. Don't let it jut out. And we're going to do those rotations, okay? So we're going to come down, coming up, rotating, then coming down, up, rotate. Okay, as far as you can come down, rotate, down. All the way down. That back leg is straight and locked out. Using every part of your core to help lift you here. So really hold it in strong. Your front leg, you can shift it around to get the best grip. This is why I'm wearing those socks, because my leg just wants to slide out from under me. Rotate down, rotate other way, just one more set each way. Rotate down and other way. Now coming back into that warrior two, coming down as low as you can and looking up at that hand. So make sure that your feet are still in great alignment. Your heel and that back arch are aligned. You're looking up at your hand, down as far as you can. And if you can, straighten that leg into triangle. If you need to bring your back leg in a bit, please do so. You're really jutting your hips out. And you're straightening through that front thigh. Now, bending that front leg again, coming up, twisting, coming down, placing your hand next to your foot if you can, and twisting towards that bent leg. Try and stay low in that bent leg so you're still getting a little bit of bonus thigh work. And if you can, straighten that front leg. This side is a lot tighter for me, so I'm struggling a bit. You can come up on fingertips if that helps. Just keep your body twisted. And then coming down, hands down, stepping back, downward dog, coming forward, legs down and cobra stretch. Then coming back, child's pose. Bring your knees apart and come really low. Then walk your hands to the back and stretch away. And hands to the front and stretch away. Walk your fingertips across the floor, really lengthening through your shoulder and your armpit. And now we're going to take a seat and do a few more static stretches. Okay, so first of all, come into a seated position and just bend your leg in. This leg is out and straight, and just twist yourself towards it and come down into a hamstring stretch. You can keep your toe pointed here to start with. Just come down as far as you feel comfortable. Keeping your back flat, okay? Don't round your back. If you need to just stay up here, you can. If you can, come down and put your elbows down, that's great. Now we're going to flex through the foot, point through the foot. Flex it up, point away. Flex, point. Flex, point. Just stretching out. One more flex, one more point. Now coming up, I want you to grab the inside of your foot if you can. If you can't, then grab under here. if you can, I want you to sit up and bring your leg up with your hand. So you're pointing your toe and you're pushing your heel into your hand and you're pulling back with your hand. So you're really trying to straighten out behind the knee here. The other leg is just there to help stabilize you, and you're pulling into that. If you want to flex, you can. Pull it closer to you. And just holding that stretch. Now, grab on the other side of your foot and pull it in closer. You point or flex here, doesn't matter. You should be able to feel this lengthening on now the outside of the hip as well as on the back there. So really pull it in. And now pull across, change hands. Pull your leg across your body. This one is a lot tighter and you'll feel it on the outside of the knee area. So don't pull too far, just as far as you feel this stretch. Bring it in towards you as well as pulling away, if that makes sense. You can flex your feet here and point. Ah, that feels great. Now bring that leg across the other side and hold your knee into your chest as hard as you can. Try and keep your hips on the floor here. So keep both sides of your glutes planted into the mat and just pull in. And now stretch your legs out and chest to the floor. As low as you can go. And make sure your back is really flat here and you're pressing down so that your inner thighs are feeling this stretch. You can point or flex here, doesn't matter. Just come down as far as you can. If you can actually come all the way down and rest your elbows on the ground, that's fantastic. And then coming up, and we're going to bring this other leg across and just hold that knee in. I know we haven't got the leg bent, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. It does the same thing. Both glutes are on the mat, and you can actually turn away a little bit and really hugging that in as tightly as possible. Really feeling that stretch through the glute, just down here. And now we're going to take those stretches on this side. So bring that leg in and bring your chest towards your knee. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, the other alternative is to bring your leg behind, which in fact I think I'm going to do because I've got a bit of a sore knee on this side. So you can bring your leg behind. It's just a matter of getting it out of the way, really. So you've got your back flat and you're leaning over. And you can flex and point here. Flexing and pointing. Your aim is to get your chest as close to your knee as you can. Holding your tummies in, flexing and pointing, stretching out behind that hamstring. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now coming up and grabbing that foot in the arch. You're going to have to change your leg again actually because you won't be able to do it in that other position. And you're bringing that leg up, okay? So just using that leg to anchor yourself. Either flex or point, doesn't matter. You're just bringing that leg up, holding on, pushing your heel into your hand and pushing, or pulling rather, with your palm towards you. So it's like an isometric hold. And you're locking out behind the knee here. Really stretching. Bring it in closer if you can. Flexing, pointing. And then grab onto the other side and bring it in closer. So if you actually bend your arm and use your bicep muscle to help you, bring it out and in. So further out, as in widening the angle, and then bring it in closer to the body and stretch. Keep reminding yourself to stretch through that leg arch if you like. Flex and point. And point. Arm's getting a bit of a workout doing this. And then bring it across, grab with the other hand, and just pull it across your body. Pull in towards you and towards your outside there. Really feeling that down the side of your leg. Try and sit upright and hold your tummies in. That feels great. Now, just because we did it bent, we'll do it again. Bring your foot down, plant your heel into the mat. Plant both glutes into the mat and pull that knee in. All the way in, sitting up tall. Really using your arm to press it in as close as you can to your chest. Now bring your soles of your feet together. You should be really open and nimble and flexible now. So try to bounce your knees a little bit and then keep your soles pressed together. Use your hands to help you. And then bring your heels as close as you can to your sit bones and push your knees down. Sit up tall, push your knees down to the mat as far as you can. I just felt my hip opening. If you want to, you can use your hand to press down and then change sides. Press down, you might find one side is able to get down further than the other. Just open that up. So important to open your hips up. Hip flexors can be such tight muscles, especially if you're a runner. So it's very important to do this. Now bringing your knees underneath you, your heels together, and pressing up through your hips. I'm just going to turn sideways. Press up through your hips. Your heels are together. Walk your hands to hold your heels if you can. Press your chest up. Your hips are pushed forward as hard as you can. Your chest is pushed up to the ceiling. All the way up. If this is too much, you can do this stretch with your hands on your hips, pushing back like this. Squeeze through those glutes. And then hinge back, just too far forward, and child's pose again. Deep breath in. Coming up into tabletop, arching, curving your back up, cat and cow, looking up to the ceiling. And back to cat and cow. Cat and cow. And one more set like this. Up and down. One last thing, if you want to, sit down with your legs out to the side, okay? So not everyone can do this. With your legs out to the side of your thighs. And then just sit back like this. You're just opening up in a slightly different way. And once you get used to this, you can press your hips up and down, up and down. We're used to turning out with bar work, turning our knees out, and this is doing the opposite. Here we're turning in. So you have to be careful because your body's probably not used to doing this, but it's good to really stretch in all different directions. And in, and one more up, and down. And then slowly come out of that. And just rotate your wrists. They helped us along a little bit today. And that's it. Thank you for joining me for my dynamic stretch segment. I hope you enjoyed it and I look forward to working out with you again soon.